We're going to have a Bible reading that starts off, "Come, let's sing to the Lord." So you're not going to sing the psalm. We're not going to sing it.
You can if you like.
Well, I tried this morning, but I couldn't remember all the chorus. Stephen, don't go away. We had a different sort of service last week. This morning Brad's not here, so I've been commandeered to give an announcement of birthdays. One is Roger Werner, and the other is Graham this week.
And Mark Darby too.
Yeah, Mark's on too, Mark Darby, yeah.
And Mark Darby, who's not here. Will he hear us if we sing loud enough? Birthday to you, happy birthday to you,
Happy birthday to Roger, Graham and Mark. Happy birthday to you. Hip hip. Hooray. Hip hip. Hooray. Hip hip. Hooray.
Psalm 95, verses 1 to 7. Oh, come, let us sing to the Lord. Let us make a joyful noise to the rock of our salvation. Let us come into his presence with thanksgiving. Let us make a joyful noise to him with songs of praise. For the Lord is a great God and a great King above all gods. In God's hands are the depths of the earth. The heights of the mountains are his also. The sea is his, for he made it, and the dry land which his hands have formed. O come, let us worship and bow down. Let us kneel before the Lord our Maker, for he is our God, and we are his people of his pasture, and the sheep of his hand. Oh, that today you would listen to his voice. We trust in you, Lord. In your word we have hope.
Thanks, Lorraine. As I said before, I didn't say it before, on the page, if you received a soft copy when for our last congregation meeting, if you're on our email list, you would have received a whole lot of documents. And this was a part of, one of them was what's called our mission page summary, I think it is. And these are the mission foundations on the back page of that. So if you're looking for them later, if you just want to check that where we are, you can find them later. And you might find them helpful in terms of just your own thoughts and leading into study or to meditation. I don't know, they're not meant to be statements of absolute truth or fact, or they're not meant to be our dogma, but they are meant to be little guides. And today, we're looking at Captured by the Awesome. So I'm not going to address that too much. I'm just going to let that sit there. And if you find yourself wandering off from what I'm saying, which I'm sure never happens to any of you, then you can head back here and have a look. Charlie, you'd never go to sleep while I'm sharing, would you? No. Bring your own pillow or something, is that right? And a blankie? Yep. All right, Captured by the Awesome. God is dead. God remains dead. And we have killed him. They are the words, they're not my words, they're the words of Friedrich Nietzsche from the 19th century German philosopher. God is dead, God remains dead, and we have killed him. Now, I didn't get this stuff from Google or AI. I want to let you know, I studied this kind of stuff when I did my sociology and psych degree. So this was, Nietzsche came up a little bit. And the quote comes from the mid 19th century, in the middle of what a period that's we know as modernity. The way of modern thinking. which came out of the Enlightenment. It followed the Enlightenment. The Enlightenment was this shift away from mystic and kind of like the mystery into this space of like, we're actually looking for more evidence than that, thank you very much. And modernity was this period where humans started to apply rational thought to everything. And it was this, it's the rise of rationalism. Nietzsche made this statement as a cultural observation. But in the 1960s, it became the slogan, like a banner for atheism. But that's not how Nietzsche originally intended it. What he was doing was observing what was going on in the world. And as rational thought, and putting everything under that sort of microscope, was taking away was shifting our thinking, shifting our psyche, shifting the social psyche, not just of individuals, but of the world. And it gave rise to this idea of rational thinking, of scientific method. Now, I'm not against it, and I don't want you to hear anything I'm saying as being against scientific method or rational thought. I'm all for it. It needs to be applied to everything. The trouble is, of course, if you've seen it like I have, is that scientific method has almost become its own religion. Not by people who do it, engage in it. Scientists won't tell you it's a religion, but it's a whole bunch of other people who have shifted away from this sense of an awesomeness of God into this, our trust is in science. You'll also notice there's been this whole shift away of other people who would say, damn the science. We don't trust that either. But this idea of rationalism is that everything goes under the microscope, and we're only going to accept that which is observable, measurable, knowable, explainable. We're only taking that on as truth. So you can see how it's easy to let go of God in the middle of all of that. Now let me say very clearly too, I think the church helped tremendously in people letting go of us. We didn't do ourselves any favours. We came too tied to the institution, to the morals, to moral code, to judgmentalism. And that kind of helped people on the pathway out, I think, too. And so there's been this rejection of the mystical and of the spiritual in life. I think out of some of those frustrations with us, but it's not just us, there's a rejection of religion, full stop. And people traded a sense of awe in something bigger than ourselves, in a greater being perhaps, or a force or an energy or a life force. People traded that out for just simply having awe in the vastness of that which is beyond, or vastness to that which is below, like the depths of the ocean or the heights of the mountains. We've traded a sense of awe of something bigger than ourselves. Which means that we as an organisation, or we as part of a bigger organisation, are a little bit different. Because we're naming this as one of our mission foundations. Now, others would say about us, look, I've got a really good close friend who's an atheist, a strong atheist, militant atheist, Christopher Dawkins-like. If you've seen any I'm getting a lot of Christopher Dawkins on my feeds on Facebook at the moment. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, Christopher Dawkins is a prominent atheist. I would call him He's a straw man argument atheist. He takes the worst case scenario of faith and turns it into the most important point and reduces everything else to background. But he's got a strong following. And I've got a mate just like him. And he would say about me, with a kind of a cheeky grin, but also with an element of hoping I catch the truth, that you and me, in having some sense of something bigger than ourselves, that we're deluded, that we're antiquated, that we're wrong. He would say when I look out into the vastness, when I look out at night, I don't know what you see, apart from the stars and the planets and the comets and all that sort of stuff. I see something, I kind of look at it and go, wow, there must be something more. He looks at it and just says, I've looked at what the Hubble is sending back, I've looked at all, the James Webb, whatever, and it's nothing. There's nothing out there. There's nothing. So I would say, I'd like to think, I'm not standing here to tell you all that we're right, and let's get out there on soapboxes and tell everybody on the street that we're right, you're wrong, we're right. There is a God, and you better, whatever the rest of it is. Right? That's not what I'm saying here. What I'm just trying to say is let's come humbly to an understanding that we're part of something bigger. That's what being captured by the awesome is all about. We'll always be open to being caught, surprised by God's awesomeness. It might be in the gurgling of a baby. It might be as you look into space. It might be as you get on the mountaintop and look out. It might be when someone turns up on a Friday afternoon and asks if we're the church. I got this text from Wendy on my day off, but I didn't mind getting it, to be honest with you. Wendy's doing the op shop, and a woman came in and asked if we're the church that does the meals. And Wendy said, yes, we are. And this woman handed over a donation of $330. Isn't that an awesomeness of God? We've got another woman who turns up once in a while with vouchers to hand out to people who are struggling. She bought Lamingtons. Her grandchild was doing a Lamington drive at the school. Turns up with 5 dozen Lamingtons for us. Awesomeness of God. It might be when you're sitting with somebody who's really struggling. Somewhere in there, your humanities meet. The awesomeness of God. It might be in meditation. It might be in prayer. It might be in some other spiritual ritual that you have or practice that you have, where you encounter the bigness and the vastness of God. That's our starting point. When we become a missional people, is allowing ourselves to be opened by God's awesomeness. We're not being caught by the institution. We're not allowing, don't get me wrong, we have to obey in particular parts or find ourselves in all kinds of trouble. But that's not where our being captured by the awesome is. It's not in having the right beliefs. It's not in the moral code, telling other people how to live, what they should or shouldn't do. It's not in the money. It's not in the minister. It's our all, our openness to the vastness and the bigness of God. When we can join with the psalmist and raise our voices, raise our heads, raise our hearts, and praise, give praise, that there's a greater being who is mighty and powerful and awesome, beyond our understanding, beyond our comprehension. And rather than needing to explain to rationalise, to fully understand, to treat God like a Rubik's Cube that we have to solve, we allow ourselves to be like the lost coin that's found. We allow ourselves to be like the yeast in the bread that God is growing, that God is baking. And we choose to participate in something bigger than ourselves. That's where the awesomeness is. When we choose to simply join in. When we allow our lives to be caught up in the awesomeness and the purposes of God. When it comes to mission, and when it comes to this part of where this fits into mission, you'll find that as we talk about the 4 mission foundations, there's a flow to it, right? But our starting point, our posture, our hope is found in the fact that we're not alone, and that we're building community and connection for and with people. Because our starting point is a recognition that we're part of something bigger than ourselves, who calls us in love to give of who we are to those purposes. So my friends, let's be open. Let's always be open to allowing God to catch us. The mystery of whatever that is, being open to it. Rather than, and again, I'm not anti-rationalism, I'm not anti-thought, I'm not anti-scientific method, but what I'm trying to say here is let's find ourselves, let's be open to the fact there is something bigger than ourselves and we cannot understand it. We can't explain it. And yet, sometimes it's as close as our next breath. Giving us life. Let's join in with that. That's part of being missional people. It's part of having a good news to share, is knowing that we're fitting in with what God's doing in the world around us. I'm going to leave you with a prayer. And it's actually comes from the mouth, it's put in the mouth of Moses in the book of Exodus. And Moses is sharing a song of praise. And it's from Exodus 15. This is the line. Let's pray. Who among the gods is like you, Lord? Who is like you? Majestic in holiness, awesome in glory, working wonders. Amen.